Who are you looking for?
Well, Tanya had a question about whether Dick wanted to pop out the hospital liens bill, but we'll do that at another meeting if they're not here. Set? Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Almost afternoon. Meeting of Senate Rules, as per our last meeting, to continue the process of moving bills out of rules. If we get a plea from the chair of the committee that a bill is important. So we have two chairs here today who are looking to have bills released. Let's go first to Chair of Natural Resources and Energy, Senator Bray.
Thank you, Senator Ruth. So this is Bill S-146, an act relating to the permitting of indirect discharges. It relates to it's a water quality. It's statute that goes hand in hand with a rule that is currently getting ready to constitute LCAR, and this is a statutory change that goes hand in hand with that rule. Although it's hard to tell how excited I am, this rule was first requested in 2005, and we are finally getting it. So this would be great if we could do the statutory change that will enable its full implementation.
So I have one question, which is, I did have some input from the chair of agriculture about a piece of the bill, and I'm wondering if you all have a plan to.
Sure. Actually, when we voted the bill out, I took a copy of the bill. I highlighted the section that relates to a study that also relates to agriculture, because this is the bill relates to water quality. Obviously, ag has a connection to anything related to water quality. So there is a study that's part of the bill, and the Agency of Agriculture with the Agency of Natural Resources delivers a report. It's not a stakeholder group, as in we assign a bunch of people. They just come back with analysis and recommendations to the next legislature. And I made sure that Senator Starr got it directly from me right away, so someone who was worried perhaps about us mentioning the word agriculture and a natural resources bill diffuse that before it actually becomes.
And we could talk further about whether or not his committee would like a look at it, but
sure.
In any event,
make sure you got the language.
Okay.
So just a process where we would be approving to leave the Rules Committee, but it could go to another committee or
Right, so it would go on notice, and at that point, come up for action unless there's some.
Or unless the secretary sends it to another committee?
So my question, it may very well go to finance. It looks like it's doing something with the discharge permit gallonage, so we'll have to look into whether that was intake to finance. I don't.
That's beyond what we do. We just get it out of its purgatory.
That was sort of my question, whether or not you were providing a exemption all the way through the Senate, or whether you were just potentially, which you can do both. But I was assuming you were going to do it. It has an exemption, but you can always just move it so it goes to the next committee too.
Personally, I would be uncomfortable moving it past any committee that might be referred to under another rule, for instance, finance. But I would be all in favor of moving it out of the rules purgatory. Senator Clarkson.
Are you ready for a motion?
Oh, please.
I was remind me of the number of the bill.
146.
146.
I would move that we enable or allow S-146 to move out of Senate rules and into Senate and into the Secretary's lap.
That's where
Into the
It's already
Secretary's
there.
to the Secretary so that he can liberate it to the appropriate committee.
And Senator Clarkson has moved that the bill be moved out of rules to the notice calendar where the Senate Secretary would move it where it needs to go. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yes,
Any
with
opposed?
explanation.
Senator.
And the only explanation, quite frankly, is I don't know what it does. And I'm just fortunate being on finance that I'll find out.
Well, and fair enough. If
can-
people have questions, we can circulate copies of the bills. But it sounds like you're okay.
Yeah, I'm fine in moving it to finance.
Okay. So S-146 then is moved out. And now we've got the Chair of Government Operations to advocate for some H bills.
Thank you. I will follow up with Senate Secretary on Finance. We did take testimony so that I have information for you, and I'll follow up again with Senator Stoddard. Thank you very much.
Good. Senator Hardy.
Thank you, committee. I'm requesting that H-488, H-495, and H-386 be released from the Rules Committee and I guess referred to GovOps. These are, all, again, more town charters, Ludlow, Middlebury, and Brattleboro, respectively. And we'd like to take a look at these and potentially move on them this session if possible.
And for anybody who might be listening and not know this, we typically move these out of rules because they've already been voted on by the voters of the towns. There's an extra step to come to the legislature, and we feel like it would be a huge burden to leave them over till January. So with that said,
For the record, took me 3 months to get my town charter approved, and so there's an urgency in these three?
I'm not sure what you're referring to, but
I'm referring to my charter that I introduced in January. It took 3 months with 3 different committees to go through, but yet we got, these are moving.
the bill that you're referring to was not a charter change. It was
Confirmation of the charter vote, yes.
it was a vote, but it wasn't a charter change. And I believe that we came to a solution with the various committees, Senator. These are charter changes. These have been approved as charter changes by the voters of each of the respective towns. And so, yes, I would like for them to get consideration by the GovOps committee.
and this wouldn't speed them through the process, it would just put them in GovOps.
Right. We'll do our due diligence as always.
Yeah. With that said, any further discussion? If not, I'd welcome a motion from.
I would move that we liberate the 3 charters mentioned, H-488, 495, and 386 to the notice calendar, to the secretary to place wherever he places them on the notice calendar.
And Senator Clarkson has moved that we kick those bills out. Any further discussion?
The language is getting there.
Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Unanimous. So those 3 bills are moved out. Mr. Lieutenant Governor, are you here with business or?
I was just listening and wanted to catch the senator from Grand Isle when the meeting is over, so.
Fair enough. With that said, Senate Secretary.
So sorry. I don't know if you care to discuss Senator Ron Hinsdale and maybe giving her additional time, her ability to perform remotely, and I don't know whether.
Good point.
Consider.
Thank you for that reminder.
You have a boy or girl?
She had a girl.
I announced she
I missed that. I just missed part of the girl.
Mira.
7
M-I-R-A.
7 pounds, 4 ounces?
7 pounds, 4 ounces.
Very good. So that is a great reminder. And again, for anybody who might be listening, we have a remote rule that allows, if there's a temporary health emergency, allows 2 days without Rules Committee approval. And then the Rules Committee can extend at its discretion. We have already extended once for 2 weeks. I would personally feel fine with extending for another 2 weeks. Anybody not all right with that?
No.
Need it.
Okay. I think it still falls well within the parameters. So that being said,
I'll move that we extend Senator Ram Hinsdale's dispensation another 2 weeks.
fair enough. So Senator Perchlik has moved to extend it 2 weeks. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? Okay, unanimous. And thank you for that.
What
Ryan.
else have we?
Just one more, just a general question that just came up briefly in jest, I think, while you were out of the room.
Oh.
And that was, what if the chair of the Rules Committee is missing? Is there a vice chair?
I believe Allison's the vice
Is
chair.
it? I don't know. I'm
Isn't
really-
it how we're listed, the order that we're listed?
I have, we have it, yes, it's like, just like in the committees. So let me see what we have on our, Senator Clarkson, the vice chair.
I have,
Congratulations.
Well, you just want to get the extra pay or?
That comes next.
how did you know?
Okay, well, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.